thing we want to show you is the beautiful bench pillow. Miss Kathy Bolton let me borrow this one. If I did everything in the store, I would have it all eat up in my profit in samples, but this is the Halloween Boo-Levard from last year, but we have kits available. It's a beautiful quilt pattern embroidery because you quilt with it to create your blocks. So we have this CD, we have the colors of fabric for you to do embellishment kits. So we wanted to show you this morning, that Halloween is coming. So that's our first Halloween project that we wanted to show you. The next we want to show you is, I had two friends that did up the new quilt kit, Candy Corn. So this is beautiful. I wanted to show you this one, and look at all the embellishments. This was done by Kathy Bolton. Thank you, Kathy. And what's wonderful is we have two of them to display in the store. And Christy Puckett, you did a nice job also. You and Kathy both. They're beautiful. And we carry the embellishment kits. And we also carry the design and the fabric that is kitted together. So to my good friends and supporters, thank you, Kathy and Christy, for doing these up so that we could share them as samples for people to see projects done. Thank you so very much. So that is that kit we wanted to show you. And what goes with that is the embellishment kit from Kimberbell. You get the CD, and this is their fabric kit that you can do along with it. So we wanted to show you that this morning. Beautiful. Both of you did such a wonderful job. Kathy did her own quilting on hers in her blocks. Christy let me quilt hers with invisible thread. So they're both beautiful, but they kind of have a different spin. The next thing we want to show you is the Kimberbell fill in the blank. What takes place is you buy the kit to create this, and then we send you a design, or you bring your own jump drive in and we download it. You get the design for free, but this is your kit that runs $10, and you're able to make this. This is a nice gift to give to someone. Say that you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, but you spend a lot of time embroidering it. You're going to work with leather, you're going to work with felt with this, so it's really nice. You're going to create a yo-yo. So there's learning techniques and everything that Kimberbell comes out with. We wanted to share it with you this morning. Now we're going to take you into I was going to show you something else, but I'm going to save it. The Midnight Magic. This is actually, it comes in charm packs. We just got these in. These are actually Halloween that should have been in August, but they're here now, and they're beautiful oranges, blacks, and grays. So you'll be able to access this on our Facebook after we do our live. Lori always puts our products on Facebook so that you know about them. So that's another beautiful layer cake. We have beautiful layer cakes that are coming in all the time. I wanted to share this pattern with you. This is on Pinterest, but this is, I've never seen a pattern that was requested more for than this pattern right here. Runs $10, but we've had orders from all over the United States with this, and I guess because it's posted on Pinterest. So we wanted to show you this because this is hot, and right now I guess we've got about 8 patterns of it because people just keep buying it up. And you pay for shipping for this if you're ordering it online, but we wanted to share with you. And if you've ever done the Big Easy, this is what this reminds me of, but a smaller version. So it's beautiful. You just focus fabric, 3 yards or a half a yard or 2 fabrics, 8 fat quarters, whatever you want to do. But if you've got a fabric you really want to feature, that's what happens in these larger blocks here. So if you want to show off the fabric and you're proud of it, this is the pattern. We wanted to share it with you this morning. The next thing I want to share with you that's been requested from me is the different size of quilting gloves. We have it in large, medium, and small. So, for those girls that want to do their own quilting at home, and yes, the blue tiles is coming. They're just not here yet with Kimberbell. I wanted to mention that because of these gloves brought it to my attention. So, we will have these online after Lori gets through on our Facebook so that you know about them. We have some new patterns that I'm going to just run through so that you'll see them. This is called the crosscut, which is new. And then we have this new one called Picnic. Another new one for you. We have one that's called Festive, so we wanted to share with you. And then we have Oh Glory, which this is Fabric Cafe. She always comes out. This is with 3 yards of fabric, and you design it with that. So we wanted to share it with you this morning. You can make these bigger if you want to. That's up to you. You just have to do the math. And then we have, of course, these small ones. These only run $2 a piece, but they're such cool patterns. This takes 42.5-inch strips on this one, and this one's just nice. Windmills is what it's called. And then Victoria harassed me to get these in. Jill seen them, Betsy seen them, and they all liked them. So this is a different designer, Elizabeth Hartman. So this is Greenhouse, which is a new pattern that we've not been exposed to. Victoria has been exposed to her. Victoria's our designer in the store, and she does whatever. Retail, quilting. She don't do any alterations. It's Betsy and I. We go at it. And then this cute one, which is sweaters, little dogs in sweaters, which is darling. So I wanted to share it with you. Then we have swans. So what's going to take place when you pick one of these patterns is it's going to help you choose fabrics, and someone is always here to help you choose colors. So we wanted to share this new designer because all of these is Elizabeth Hartwell, and everyone knows what this one is, correct?
Yeah,
what is it, Lori?
I'm thinking you're Bigfoot or Saskatchewan man or something like
yes.
that.
So we wanted to share these with you also. Now, I wanted to share this quilt that we're going to start on October the 7th on a Thursday evening from 4 to 7. This will be done with Miss Lori. This is the ruler that you use that only runs $5.99. Wow. Everyone that sews knows that that's cheap for a ruler. But this is done with a jelly roll. We hope that you will sign up. It'll be from 4 to 6. Some of the benefits with this is going to be color placement. Always your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Your placement is so important with this, and you will lay it out. So we want to share this with you because you're going to gain knowledge through taking this class. Now, there's one other class that I want to mention to you, but this one starts October the 7th. This one is going on right now that we've let people join a little later. Love the Irish chain because there's 5 variants of Irish chain that you can do in this book. Our class is Saturday from 1 to 5. If you're still considering this will be the last week that you can join in because we only have one more class, but you can get your fabric pre-cut and come to class and sew with us. We've had a wonderful time with it, but I wanted to show you something that I run across all the time when I am quilting for people. It's not to be judgmental. If you want to take it that way, that's your choice. But when you go to sew these, which we've sewn them, and it needs to be squared up. But if you do not get your seams flat and stretched out, when we go to quilt it, it quilts in that flap that's laying over, which doesn't look as nice. And if you don't use best press, you're not going to get good end results. When we quilt for you, I want your quilt to be state fair competition from our quilting views, but I want you to make it better as you do it. Here's one that's been totally pressed out with best press, and here's one that hasn't, and it's not as flat. And this was not done with best press either, and you can tell by the way fabric flops. The flatter you make it, now I'm not talking stretch your fabric out or scorch it, but I'm talking about where it's firm and it's smooth. Okay, so you want to use starch, that's okay, but starch creates flakes. Best press creates flat, pretty seams, and it smells good too when we go to quilt it. But I want you to, when you go to sew pieces together, whether it's in our class or you're at home with a couple friends or you're by yourself, I want you to think about your pressing, and I want you to think about sew. Now, many folks don't think pressing is important. You know, we have people that come in all the time that want to do quilting, which is great. But one of the most important things that you have at home, besides your sewing machine, your fabric, and your notions, is a good iron. Because if you haven't been an ironer in your life, when you take on quilting, you're going to be an ironer. Now, I'm going to say something because Betsy's going to laugh this morning. Yes, Betsy, I iron my sweaters because I just like them polished. But your quilting has to be pressed really good. And when you're doing blocks like this, you don't wait until you get finished with your quilt to press it. If you press as you go along, it saves a lot of heartache. Or it does, at least for us as the quilters. We want you to do well. And we want your quilt at Christmas time or when you give it away to have the wow factor. But if you don't press as you do these blocks, your success is not going to be what you think it should be. Maybe you've gotten by with it, but when it goes on the quilting machine, I can tell your pressing abilities or how much time you've taken. And, you know, your seams are turned a certain way, and if you don't press as you go, you don't end up with nice seams. If you look at this one here, you see how those seams look? That's how your seams should look on the back of a quilt. And if you're using good quality fabric, you won't have a lot of strings on the back when you press it. And you know, one thing that I don't do is I don't wad these up and just throw them in a drawer or throw them to the side. You want to keep your blocks and things, you know, laying flat and smooth when you're doing it. But I just wanted to drive home this morning as we're getting ready to close that your pressing and quilting is as important as your needle, as your machine, and, you know, cutting your strings as you go. Now, if you have a brother, a 500 and anything up, it has a cutter on it. So I wanted to share that with you this morning. So there we have that in this. And we also have a winner this morning. It is Linda Davis. So Linda, you got a $20 gift certificate coming to you that you will do online. We don't do them in the store. If you want a gift certificate, you purchase online and Lori sends you a code in an email. So please like us, share us, sign up for our newsletter. It's important to us.